the birthplace of the Bohemian Revolution, from Code 591 Studio. We are the Bohemian Reformation. This is the Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network with producer Blake Tempest and co-host Dale Reber. I'm Jim Gillespie, and this is the Jesup News for February 24th, 2025. Tonight we're sponsored by Mickey D's Pizza and Lobster. The Farrells are kind sponsors of the podcast. Include them at your wedding, graduation, or festival plans. Don't wait, their schedule's filling up for 2025. Tonight we're lucky to have with us Alex Monaghan from Fusion Forward and Independence.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, glad you're here.
Thank you so much for coming. So Alex, how long have you been involved with Fusion Forward? Just give us a little background about it.
Yeah, so I've been involved with Fusion Forward since August of 2024. I had started marketing, been a part of the marketing industry for about 10 years now, and a couple years ago I decided that it was time for me to venture on my own and become full-time within the marketing world, and I had the great opportunity to get connected with the previous owners of Fusion Forward out of Independence, and we had decided that being about 20 minutes apart from Manchester and Independence that we would join and merge our services to make a larger impact across Northeast Iowa. And so I inquired Fusion Forward in August, and I've been with them ever since.
Was it difficult to go out on your own?
It was fearful. One of my biggest fears is fear of failing, and so I was very nervous to go out on my own, but I was also excited because it's been a goal of mine. I have found through my line of work of being in the marketing world that my favorite thing is sharing the stories of family-owned businesses and really being able to promote what they do locally. There's so many great things that are happening within the state of Iowa that are unknown. And so that's where I find my passion, is being able to promote those family-owned businesses and share with the communities and residents of rural Iowa of what families are doing locally and what they're doing for our Iowa citizens. So
how does one get into marketing? Did you prepare for that educationally, or what did you do?
Yeah, so I graduated with a degree in communication studies, and so I got a lot of marketing background through college, communications, and I started within the marketing industry when I was in college. Designed a couple websites, worked for some small town stores where I was able to dabble into social media, do some press releases. Writing and PR was still pretty big 12 years ago, and so there was some opportunities that I could do some press releases, news releases, and small bits of communication for rural communities within their business, and that's really what got me started. And from there, once I graduated, I had a great opportunity to lead a state marketing initiative called Elevate Advanced Manufacturing, and that role really helped set me up for what I'm currently doing.
So if I say marketing is the art of, how would you answer that? What is marketing?
That is a great question. So really, to me, marketing is sharing the unique story of your own business. Marketing is really showcasing who you are and what you have to offer.
Okay, so if you have a store and you're advertising and talking to people about what you have available, that's marketing.
Yes.
Okay, if Gillespie and I try to get more people to listen to our podcasts by doing different things, that's marketing.
Yes.
Okay, you're trying to increase what you're doing.
Yes.
Okay,
Increase
by
the
getting
awareness
information out to people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, it's really at the end of the day to attract customers or clientele or viewers to your business or organization.
Okay, and so you're working with small businesses for the most part to help them do better.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you share clients online, or can you share clients with us, or is that inappropriate?
No, we can definitely do that.
So, who are some of your clients, if we could ask?
And what have you done for them?
Yeah, so we have done work for Independence School District, social media content for them. We've also done their website for them. We keep their website up to date, and then And we have a couple other schools locally that can be found on our website at fusionforward.com. For the larger scale projects. For smaller scale projects, we have done the family-owned businesses that are within the rural communities. For example, we were just talking about Bush and Peck out of Manchester. That is one website that we have done. We also updated their logo and stickers for all of their baking products. So if you go into Bush and Peck, when you leave the store, you'll have their logo stickered onto each product that you buy from them. And so that was done by Fusion Forward and Independence.
Okay. So is it GoDaddy is kind of, they're out of Cedar Rapids, I understand. Is that the same kind of work they do, only on a huge scale, or?
GoDaddy, yes. GoDaddy is a much larger scale. So Fusion Forward, we really serve primarily Buchanan County.
Okay.
With surrounding county companies. Overall, in a nutshell, we're really helping businesses grow online, from designing their websites, social media platforms, email marketing. Email marketing is really big right now. Text message marketing. It kind of goes hand in hand, whether it's on your phone or whether it's an email. And we also are designing companies' logos. Really to help create their brand and create a consistent image across the board, from your tangible items to your digital marketing, making it an easy access to really help your clientele maneuver through your product and services.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, don't forget your question. I'll forget mine. That's why I budged it. Here's a question. Our brand, we've changed our logo from the original logo to what it is now. A young lady that was a foreign exchange student at Jesup. She works for the European Union as a graphic designer. She did our logo. It's on the shirt I gave you there. And are there any logos nearby that we would be familiar with that you've designed?
Yes, you would. So let me think about that. We have Indie Innovations, they're out of Independence. Bush and Peck out of Manchester.
Where's Indie Innovations at?
Indie Innovations is out of Independence.
But we're in Independence.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Oh, I understand.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Shoot, I'm drawing a blank. We have a lot of the projects listed on our website right now. That would be really good for people and viewers to take a look at.
And one more time, you said it earlier. Say your website again for the viewers and listeners.
www.fusionforward.com.
Okay. Forgive me, Dave.
Well, that's all right. I was wondering, if Gillespie has a gas station, I have a gas station, and I start listing his gas station online, pretending I'm sending bad reviews and this sort of thing. Can your company do anything about that to help a person out that's having bad reviews that aren't warranted?
It would depend on what it is. If it's on social media and people are commenting in some of the review cases, if we're managing their social media platforms, we can help in that route. If there are people connecting on, through their Google ads or writing testimonials through third-party options, that's harder for us to manage because it's harder for us to find that third-party system that they're utilizing.
Yeah.
But if it is a platform or website that we are managing, we can definitely take a look at it and help out as much as we can.
Are there any, I would say, laws or regulations that govern that kind of behavior, or is it just the Wild West?
Freedom of speech. People can really communicate what they would like.
Even if I'm hiring people to write bad reviews on him, that's still okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It's sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's somewhat of a problem. I remember reading about this, that it was getting to be a real bad problem for a lot of people, that they were actually going out of business because they were getting so many bad reviews that weren't warranted. But,
it's very sad, that we see that in today's world, but it is easier to do behind screen than it is face to face, and so we have recommendations, for clientele to minimize that by responding in appropriate ways, and also pushing the bad review down with positive review and replacing it with positive views. If there's 1 or 2 bad reviews, but 10 good reviews, it's still going to level out to be a higher star leveling.
Because sometimes you log into a certain business and the first review is right there and it's horrible. And you think, why would they have that as the first thing you see? But I guess they don't have any control over that. Is that right? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. And I've always wondered, if I wanted to start a website, okay, how does one you have to go somewhere, I'm assuming, to get it in the cloud or whatever? How does one go about doing that?
Yeah, so, well, first we would love if they would contact us to help their
that would be my first show.
Help get their website connected. We would love to be able to be a part of that conversation for sure. But typically, we first find people need to first identify what website platform that they really want to use. Then from there, you have to identify your theme. When I say theme, it's your graphic image of your logos, your font, your verbiage, your storytelling communication of the written content. You would also have to identify the photos and videos and additional links that you want to use on your website to provide the best information to pull in your clientele to increase your sales. Once you can identify all of that information, you can get a good start of what you want your website to look like. The hardest thing that we find for people is the back end of maintenance, support, connecting your domain through your DNS records and all of the technical side of things, and designing a website and getting it launched on the web is the harder part.
So you get your stuff together. Did you call somebody and say, I'd like to be on the web? Can you just put it out there?
So they would typically call Fusion Forward, and we would be able to do that for them.
Okay, and who do you contact? What do you have to do to get it out there? There's got to be, if you want to be on Google, if someone pushes Google and you want your ad to pop up or your website to pop up, okay, do you have to call Google and pay them, or do you have to call Google and say, here's my stuff, can we start running it, or how do you do that?
No, there's analytics that we set up on the back end and recording set up on the back end that we help get you launched on the web. Okay. It's more of a back end technology system. There's steps to follow on the back end of the maintenance and support in order for that to be launched on Google.
But do you have to call Google, though? Do you have to talk to Google at all? Or do they look at your stuff and see if it's okay?
Nope, we don't talk to Google at all. Nope.
Okay.
Google can approve it Google can approve things appropriately on their own of what they want to do, but nope, we do not need to talk to Google. It's
okay. Well, as you can tell, I have no idea how it all works.
It's all about the analytics, right?
Yep, it is. It's all about setting up the process and procedures and connecting all of the software systems together that are in the cloud in order for it to all communicate. It's amazing what our internet can do for us today.
Well, So
these sausage fingers can't do much when it comes to internet.
I don't know. It's just it's amazing to me. It's a fantastic system, but it's just I don't know how the telephone works. It's so I'm way behind.
So Alex, I gotta ask you, what about your job gets you up every day? That is your motivator every day that you like?
The biggest thing is the variety of work and the creativity of work that we can produce for clientele. Like I said, I love being able to share the stories of family-owned businesses, and each family has their unique story to tell, which comes with unique creativity, designs, and developments. And so piecing all those together in a very unique way to tailor it to companies just adds a whole passion piece behind it that we enjoy the most of.
So if John Deere from Moline, if they called you tomorrow and said, we want you to start doing our stuff, would you have to hire a bunch of people, or could you handle a huge account like that, or how would that work?
We currently have in-house logo brand design, graphic design, which I like to share as your tangible items, your handouts, your flyers, brochures, pins, the free handout side of things. And then we'll do your website. We start from scratch from the website, and then also support for the maintenance.
Okay.
From there, we also were able to do social media and email marketing and specialized campaigns. from everything else, whether it's it's commercials, videography, photography. We contract out with specialized contractors due to the equipment that it takes in order to really grow and promote that project.
So if you got a large corporation to contact you, you would not be afraid to try to handle it?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
We'd definitely be able to. We work really closely with a lot of specialized contractors to make that happen.
Sure. Okay. So it's not just small businesses. You could do something bigger. Though.
Correct.
That's interesting.
Do you have to have like a lot of servers in your office, or a lot of technology in your office, or is that technology come from somewhere else?
No, we don't.
Which
really
is good.
don't.
Isn't that wonderful?
It is awesome.
Yeah.
We have our typical, your typical laptops, desktops, and everything's built through servers. And so we really don't have much equipment in our office. We do partner a lot with other local businesses, such as your printers, to print the tangible items, which is awesome partnerships, right? Because then we're, all of our small businesses are working together.
Well, yeah, you're helping.
So,
it's branching out. You're helping everybody. Yeah.
So we really don't.
Okay.
What's your biggest challenge every day, Alex?
Can I?
Tough question.
That is a tough question.
That is a tough question.
Wow. Let me think. I would just say probably the biggest challenge right now is matching the economy. We're in really tough times, right? And as much as marketing does amazing things, it comes with a cost. That is our biggest challenge right now, is really matching the economy for our clientele. Is we would love to be able to volunteer all day, every day.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to be paid.
But
you have a business.
we unfortunately, I would say that's our biggest challenge.
Yeah, you can't give things away. You got to pay. You got to pay rent for your office, or you got to pay for your supplies.
And advertise. I guess you're foolish if you quit advertising your business, but that's something that people can see that, I could cut this expense if things get bad.
Right.
And so, yeah. So are you confident, though, in the economy and how things are going to go, or?
Yeah, I really would like to see, clientele grow. So, we really want to be able to help as many businesses and specifically family-owned businesses within rural Iowa. And so, as 2025 continues on and we, go into 2026, I really do see a rise in marketing efforts locally for Fusion Forward.
Okay. Are there a lot of people doing what you do?
There are.
Are there?
There are a lot of marketing companies, independent contractors specifically, for specialized projects. And so that's where we stand out a little bit more, is having a variety of marketing services.
Yeah.
So we're kind of that one-stop shop for clientele.
Okay, well, that's good.
A selfish question: Did you research the Steve Brown Arts Center before you came?
Yes, I did.
Did you? I wondered. There you go.
I've been pondering my answers.
Yeah.
Pondering all the things that I could say today and conversations that we could have.
So, did you look at? Did you look at our Facebook, and what all did you look at when you looked at the Steve
I primarily looked at just the podcast itself. I listened to a couple of the recordings on the drive over to Independence, and so
We have one list.
There you go. We've got one listener. I hope we have more than one.
A new listener. All right, we can.
There you go. Well, and before we ask Alex a couple more questions and get her out of here, make sure that you click thumbs up and make sure you become a friend and do all the good stuff on Spotify and Apple and all that. Make us more listeners if you would. Go to Alex and Fusion Forward's website. And Alex, what haven't we asked you that you would like the listeners to know?
Yeah, so really I encourage people to check us out online. We have a lot of great varieties to offer. If people would really like to learn more about our projects, of what they look like, there's a lot of great projects listed on the website, from logos to graphics to social media and website designs. And so check out our website, follow us on social media. If anybody has any questions, we love meeting with people, connecting with people, and just sharing stories back and forth gets us excited of how we can really help the communities. So
mostly, do people stop in the office, or do you go to them?
We primarily go to our clientele.
Okay, so I was wondering. I thought
it helps us get to know the clientele better if we do go to them, because we can see the interaction of their staff. We can see, the space that they're working in, the facilities that they have. And we can typically pinpoint great ideas just by sitting in a conference room, sitting in an office, and we do feel that the personal interaction builds when people are in their own space, and so we love to be able to get out and see what others have to offer.
Well, Alex, if you
sounds wonderful.
If you would like to if you'd like to do a segment on our podcast, maybe once a month or something, you're more than welcome. Maybe about marketing, about websites, etc.
Yeah.
And maybe one of the people that work with you, or you do a 10-minute segment. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Marketing's evolving every day, and that's the biggest challenge that clientele face. Is it's hard to keep up with the evolving marketing tactics.
And graphic design artists are artists who do things commercially, I guess you would say.
Yeah, more on computer.
I've always thought that would be an interesting thing to learn more about, how one goes from painting a bridge to painting a Chevrolet and getting it. Yeah, I just think that'd be very interesting.
Yeah, so we can definitely have our graphic designer come in and share a little bit more about how she designs on the computer.
There you go. Well done.
Gets things printed out professionally and creatively.
Oh, sure. That's great. Yeah.
Thank you. And Alex Monaghan from Fusion Forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
coming.
much. It's very interesting.
And we're back. This is the Steve Brown Art Center Podcast Network, and I'm Jim Gillespie with co-host Dale Reber and producer Blake Tempest. It's February 24th, and our second guest for this evening is the Steve Brown Art Center's second artist in residence, Richard Moore Kelley. Dale didn't think I could do that.
I have to admit, I didn't think so.
He was betting against me, Richard. He was betting against me. We're having Richard on tonight because I met with Richard and the first artist in residence, Tim Kimmerer, yesterday.
Oh, we had a meeting.
Yeah, we did. Trying to do some exit strategies and stuff, and ways that we can make things better, and some ideas from the artist. And Richard came up with a neat idea. Richard, I'll let you tell the audience what that is.
After we got back from the meeting yesterday, I was I was painting at home, and this idea came to me. Why don't we have an artist collaborative, and why don't we have it at American Lutheran Church, who's looking to get more into the community, and I've seen them in past places where I've lived, art groups that get together at churches, and I thought, well, heck, we got a whole place to fill. And the only two nights that were off limits were Wednesdays and Thursdays, and I proposed to Jim, I just had this idea. Why don't we have an artist collaborative at the church, at American Lutheran Church here in Jesup? And so I started to brainstorm about it, and I talked to Jim and talked to Tim, and it just sort of came out last night.
So what do you think this looks? How do you envision this looking? Like if you went to it, what would you see?
If what?
If I went to the church, what would I see there with this collaborative movement?
I'm just thinking of having artists of all kinds show up, talk about what they're doing, if they want to bring art of their own, and have it critiqued, and just a conversation of building relationships with other artists. I've transitioned to painting standing up at an easel, and it's tough for me to do geometrics that way, like I did. I showed you guys the other day. So I've transitioned into doing some florals.
Okay.
And I don't know how to make petals.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to just making flowers right now the best I can. But I want to branch out and do some other things, and maybe I can learn something from somebody else.
So you could have a project going that people could help or teach something.
Yeah, bring
during
pictures
these
of
meetings.
it, bring the actual thing. You know, it's not just visual art. If you got a quartet and you want people to hear it, you want to practice it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're open to that. We've got we can use the pastor's office. They've got a fellowship room. They've got it downstairs. The church is ours on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
The art house up in Decorah does something like this with musicians.
Oh, sure.
Every
Okay.
Sunday from like 2 to 4, they have a jam session for musicians.
Okay.
And the research I did, they have guys that will bring anywhere from those triangles in, those metal triangles that I could play,
Yeah.
to harmonicas and tubas and the squeeze boxes.
Sure.
And for 2 hours, they just get together and jam. And I think that's Richard's dream, is to get together and talk with artists for an hour, 2 hours maybe, and get the word out. So
Get some help, or exchange ideas, which I thought you need help doing pedals. Somebody there can show you how to do it, and so that's what I think is great.
The idea continued to evolve this afternoon. In fact, me and my wife were thinking about what if we had a summer art show in the parking lot, or even in the fall. I mean, if the thing really takes off, who knows?
Yeah.
So our first meeting we're planning on having is March the 24th at 6:30 p.m. I'm sorry, I cannot provide childcare or stuff like that, but come and show up, talk, have conversation, make relationships, and maybe learn some new skills. Even if you don't have anything to do on a Monday night, show up and meet some new friends.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing about things like this are maybe it starts with 3 or 4 people. Maybe it just starts with a small group.
Yeah.
Us 4 showed up. And we talk about art for an hour. That's not a bad thing.
No.
And so we say, okay, our plan is go out and get one person, bring them with us next time, and it gives us a month to go out and do that.
Yeah.
And I've learned in my life about ministry and groups like this. It's not about the number.
Yeah.
It's not about the number. It's about the relationships that you make. That's what it's about. And learning things. So.
Well, I know you and Tim both learned stuff yesterday as we sat and spoke from each other. Both of you threw ideas at each other, and I learned stuff from you. One of the goals of the Steve Brown Art Center this year is to meet 12 artists, and after we met yesterday, I asked you guys, each of you, to introduce me to one, and I went to Ems to tell her who the next artist is going to be at Ems. It's going to be Barb Prawl, the longtime supporter of the Steve Brown Art Center, is going to have about 8 pieces up in March. And one of the ladies that works there introduced me to her son, who's an artist.
Oh, okay.
And so I have him scheduled to be on next month, and he's a landscape artist.
Okay.
And I look forward.
I had not thought about that, but that is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I look forward to seeing his stuff. It's just, we have the Kennecott's here in town, and I know you mentioned, you'd like to, you're going to stop in there and talk to them.
Yep, I'm going to drop down and say, hey, we're having this, and we'd sure like to have your skills and knowledge and expertise in bringing this about. So,
even if they just came and talked about their experiences.
Yeah.
And stuff, it would be wonderful. So you talked about who, and you talked about where, and you talked about when, and you talked about why you want to do this. It is something that really excites me, that we can expand the Arts Center.
I think it has a lot of potential.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot of potential to draw folks together, and I've noticed Jesup is a very art conscious town. They're a very art conscious town, and if we can find a way to bring that consciousness into an experience, a lived experience, bring it up, bring it out. Whatever it is,
Well, there's a lot more out there than I ever thought. Until I got involved with this, I had no idea there were that many people out there creating, and so I'm sure you're right.
Thank you, Rich, for coming in tonight. Have a seat over there if you want to.
I'm gonna head out, and head home, and
all right.
I'll.
Okay, this is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. We're back. Thanks to Alex Monaghan and thanks to Richard Moore Kelley, our guest tonight. We are a few things more on the show before we finish for the day. And first off, Dale, here's a question.
All right, I got an answer.
Does Owine have a Hall of Fame?
I don't think so.
Who is a first generation Jesup Hall of Fame person? Who would you say? I would, let me throw out a couple of easy ones. Dave Sabers.
Yeah.
Dave Sabers, in my mind,
Yeah.
would be in, has done a lot for Jesup. In my mind, he'd be Mark Collette.
Yeah.
Has done a lot for Jesup.
Yeah.
Larry Ball would be wonderful Hall of Fame.
Well, I think you give Mr. Keys.
No, Fritz
Keys. I could think it was Mark, and it wasn't Mark.
Yeah.
Fritz Keys is how much he has done since he moved back to Jesup.
Yeah.
With the Legion and with other organizations too, has put himself out there.
He has.
And if you want to go back, there was a man, and he has since died, so I don't know if he would count for you, but named Earl Stewart.
Earl.
Who worked at the bank for 50-some years, and from all accounts did a lot for a lot of people in this community that works really well.
Yeah.
So
Niall McMartin.
Now, yeah, and I think you put Alan Wright
Oh God.
in there. I don't know. You could do some school people.
Yeah.
You
could.
like when Mr. Crum was here and all that art stuff that he did.
Oh, he was incredible,
And
wasn't
then, when Charlie Underwood was superintendent, he put a lot of money in the bank that did a lot of great things.
did.
That did a lot of great things later on. So he was very, I guess, frugal is the word, huh?
Yeah.
Those World War II guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you went through the school, you would find some people. Marshall Grosscup started the ag program at school, and one of the most successful programs in the state, and I think around 40 years he stuck with it. I mean, he did it at 35, and he was still here in 75, I know that, and even 80.
You know what? We're doing a bad job of. And the people we mentioned are incredible, and all of them very deserving. We haven't mentioned a woman, Dale.
I know. I wish those women would do something so we could.
Easy. Make sure, Dale, send your letters to Dale Reberg of the Steve Brown Arts Center. That's D-A-L-E.
Yeah, they can spell. Okay. Yeah, no, isn't it interesting how easy it was to trip off a bunch of men, and yet, it is. If you hadn't brought it up, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah,
so.
well, and there are people. There's some. There's Tony Powell, Dawn Quackenbush.
Yep.
Joyce Wright.
Yep.
Marianne Harrell. Joyce Becker. There's a number of them that are Mandy McClure does the Reverend does a lot for us. She hasn't been here that long.
I would put Monica Bankston. Do you know her?
Yes.
And what she has done just with making sure service members from the end don't have to be, if we get an address, they don't have to be a Jesup person, but we get an address, we'll send them a Christmas box. And she does all that work. She is just fantastic with that, and also with blood drives.
Right.
And so you'd have to put her in there too.
Yes, you would. Yvette Vogel. There's another one that does a lot for blood drives.
She's the blood lady now.
Yeah, yes.
My wife did it for 20 years. Was the blood lady. So
yes.
So she did a lot, and also was the librarian where she. In those days, it was a half-time job. But she worked full time, right. and help develop the library system that we have. And so,
You know, it is, you know, almost, to be fair, and I know that's inappropriate right now with the current administration, fairness.
Yeah.
To be fair, you'd almost have to have a men's and women's wing.
probably, yeah. I saw Trump was doing it on merit, and this guy has a position, but he's also Trump's son or son-in-law or something too. So I thought, okay, it's all on merit. That's right. But
Well, all right.
I didn't mean to kill you like that.
No, that's
but yeah,
okay.
I don't think Owen has a Hall of Fame. And Jesup, we need. I know we need an art center, but we need a museum in this town also.
There is, and
a historical museum about the town. So
I have talked with Mike Fedheather about this actually.
Yeah.
And he has a dream of a building actually out here on Yonge Street.
Yeah.
That he'd like to get a hold of and have a museum.
Yeah. Now, we've talked about it at Farmers Day meetings, and we actually have, it's all incorporated, it's all set up to go, the legal part of it done. Lawyer John.
John Frosky?
No, Lawyer John.
Oh, John Peters.
John Peters, and he has been a great for farmer. He does all this legal work, pro bono for us. But that's all that paperwork is set up. That empty lot, and it's a good sized lot, what we use for parking for the carnival and everything. Farmers Day owns that lot.
Yep.
And so we have the ground. So all we need is $3-4 million to build the building, and you need a huge storage area. Plus you need a display area, and you need an elevator that can handle automobiles or something big.
Right.
Because we got a lot of stuff that's around. We get this done in time, we could get it. But if those people die and the relatives don't want to hang on to that stuff, well, it could all just flitter away too. So there's kind of some urgency to it, but I think there's always so many things. There's the baseball diamonds, or a couple $1 million worth of project out there, the playing fields, and building the auditorium, and there's so many things. We need somebody that's really rich.
Mr. Lincoln said it the best when he said, "There's too many pigs for the tits." There's too many. I go through this with the Art Center all the time, Dale. There are people out there donating money, but they're donating at other places.
Yeah.
So, this is Steve Brown Art Center Podcast Network. Dale, I know you've got a couple things for us tonight. What do you have for us?
Well, I was going to remind people again about the Library Endowment Fund. There's still time with the tax season and everything if you need to get rid of some money. And remember, the endowment program is a gift that keeps on giving, because they use the interest, but the money you give at the beginning stays in the fund to make interest. And there's just a few, February's almost over. Can you believe that? Just a few things left at the library. I have for the February slip here, but the exercise group still goes Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Little Tot story time Thursdays at 10:30. So you got one more of those this month, and everything else is pretty well done for this month. And we'll get another calendar for next week and go from there. I saw an article in the Des Moines Register, and my kids in Des Moines, they get the Des Moines Register, but they also get a little extra thing just about Johnson. Once a week, it's about the local area there. And they had an article about a man, says Valley High School in Des Moines hires a new athletics and activities director. And I got to look at it's Zach Sinram. And Zach Sinram, we all knew him when he was a little kid running around. But his father was Mike Sinram, one of the most colorful and renowned people that have ever worked up at Jesup, and a fantastic coach and innovator. He did a lot of things with helping people with disabilities. He could make stuff.
Yep.
That would help them do as much as possible, and he was really good at that, and actually worked at that quite a bit with the area out of Cedar Rapids and then in Waterloo. But he was here many years and enjoyed him very much. Well, his son is Zach Sinram, and he's the new Valley High School Athletic and Activities Director. And one of the things I thought about is how many people who are in education have a child that goes into education. And you could sit here and just name tons of them from people we have known. And so I just think that's so neat. And I thought it was really neat that he's going to get $145,000 a year. So, but he's doing doing everything. I mean, he's doing the speech contest, mock trial. It's not just sports, marching band and choir. All those he's in charge of. He has to make sure those all work. And it sounds like he fostered a culture of sportsmanship, teamwork, and achievement, and consistently put the best interests of our students first, was on his release that the superintendent put out about him. And so we are incredibly grateful for his contribution. This is the place where he's leaving. So anyway, congratulations to Mike and Lois and to Zach Sinram for his job. And then I found another article in that same paper that I thought you might be interested in, because I know you are real big in promoting girls' sports. And this is about a lady named Emma Hayes, and she is the coach of the United States women national team in soccer. It said that she got the job to reinvigorate the soccer team, and in 75 days they won the gold medal at the Olympics, so she did a good job. But this is all stuff I never thought about in here. It says Emma Hayes has had enough of crash test dummies. See, researchers have found the dummies used in safety tests are at least partly to blame for women being more likely to die or be injured in car crashes. The dummies have for decades been modeled on the male body, even though women are typically shorter and smaller with lower bone density and different muscle mass distribution, which means the seat belt that hits bone on a man is more likely to slide up on a woman, causing internal damage. The airbags that hit a man on the chest will hit a smaller woman in the neck and face, and you get the idea. In safety tests and everything else, women are getting shortchanged. The single most important thing about our mission, says Hayes, is to make it really, really clear that we want to create a female lens in everything we do as our starting point. So look at everything from the female perspective. We do everything the same way we do in the men's game, or through a male lens. And so I've challenged everybody across the Federation internally to look at how they've been viewing the women's game through that male lens. And so a lot of it is tactical to keep people in sports. You have to change a culture that has never bothered to consider the difference in male and female athletes or taken into account the impact that has. For example, only 5% of sports science research is done on women. Hayes said problematically, given the differences in hormones, muscle mass, and bone structure. Only now are sporting goods companies beginning to produce shoes made specifically for women who have narrower ankles, higher insteps, and lower calf muscles. Until the last couple of years, team uniforms often included white shorts, with no thought given to the anxiety that could cause a girl or young woman expecting her period. And it goes on and on. When the soccer team travels, she said she wants the women's team to stay in hotels that are more conducive to socializing when there's free time, and the men's team are more likely to go gambling. So they want a hotel with a casino. It's just different. She wants training and rehab programs crafted by experts who specialize in women's physiology. And she wants coach education programs designed specifically for coaching female athletes, particularly at the youth level. Studies have shown there's a huge drop-off in the number of girls playing sports when they hit puberty. And Hayes believes that by having coaches who know how to anticipate that and address girls' concerns, a changing body, self-image, peer pressure, etc., they can keep more girls in the game longer. We have to get it right there. We have to help our coaches in our country help support girls and women better. At every level, coach education is wholeheartedly centered around the men's game, with a few references here and there to the women's game. We have to demand more on that front. We have to look at things through the woman's lens. And so I thought this was a very interesting article, things I hadn't thought about, and I know you're a big advocate for girls' sports, and so that's why I brought it here for you today.
Well, thank you, Dale. Women need advocates. Let me give you an example. When I was the AD, I tried to switch the boys play the first game of the, there's boy-girl doubleheaders. Sure. And you'd have thought it was the end of the world. I was afraid I was going to have to fight my way out of the room. Yeah. Because no, the girls got to play first. We got to give the chance for the crowd to get there for the boys. Yeah. Why can't the crowd get there for the girls? Yeah. But I've been to, and I've seen this enough times. It's more and more lately about, which of the teams has the talent, which of the teams are good. I went to the Northland Mac Valley game a couple of weeks ago, and that was like number 1 versus number 5 in the state. And I watched as soon as that game got over, a huge amount of the crowd walked out of the game and left the boys' game.
Sure.
So I think it's changing. It's just a slow change, Dale.
Again, this makes me feel good of something I've been a part of. But years ago, John White was the head of the Little League baseball program they had here for the boys. And he asked me, he had done it several years, he asked me to do it. And so I said that I would. Well, that same year, Kathy Sabers took over the girls program.
Right.
So I was talking with Kathy, and we noticed how much money I had and how much money she had. So what we decided to do is just make one program. She would handle the girls, but it'd be one program, one treasury, buy equipment out of this one pot and this sort of thing, and equality in number of games and this and just everything we could. And so it just made it, instead of a boys program and a girls program, it was just kids that age playing ball. And I always thought that was a really neat thing that we did as far as equalizing the chances for the girls and
that was a great
the amount of
move,
equipment
Dale.
and stuff that we did. So
Thank you for doing that.
Well, but she and I did that on a volunteer basis for several years
Right.
until the school decided to take over the summer programs, and then
Mr. Crum? I think Mr.
I
Crum.
can't remember who was doing that, but we pretty much handled the whole thing ourselves. Several years there in front of it, and we had to. They didn't have all those ball diamonds then when we first started, so you're always fighting, trying to find a time when Elson wasn't practicing or whatever to use that small softball field up there where the student parking lot is and this sort of thing. So, but yeah, you could talk about that forever. But so anyway, it's important to keep these girls out for sports, and you can see with some of the things they mentioned in this article where with a lot of girls it'd be hard for them to keep on playing sports, and so
I something that and this came out when Kobe was killed. Kobe was coaching his young daughter's team, 5th grade or 6th grade team, I don't remember. But he called himself a girl's dad.
Yeah, I'm a dad of a girl. Yeah.
Dad of a girl, and well, what about the dad of or the mom of a girl?
Yeah.
That bothers me a little bit when men say that. They're still including themselves.
Yeah.
Dale.
But I think that started with the fact that usually, the dad would take care of the boys, teach them how to hunt and fish and play baseball and not cry and this sort of thing. And the mom would take care of the girls and teach them how to cook and sew and take care of the house and this sort of thing. And it's taken a while to get over that. And I think that a lot of dads did not interact a lot with their daughters. And so I think that's kind of where that all came from. But there's a guy on it's a commercial, but he says he's a so-and-so and so-and-so, and he's the dad of girls, he says. That's part of his spiel about why he's doing a good job and everything. So,
well, I'm happy to see there's a woman's coach for the women's soccer team.
Yeah. How did you get started doing so much with women's sport? Girls' sports.
It is. I did not have a plan to do that, and when I was looking for a teaching job, and I interviewed with Charlie and Mr. Jesse, they were looking for an assistant girls coach at Jesup, and they were kind enough to hire me. And I was, I was raised by a strong woman.
Yeah.
My dad was gone a lot. My mother ran the house, and she took me fishing. She saw that I was involved in activities. I knew women were strong, and Wayne, to his credit, marketed girls basketball real well for Jesup. He was pro girls basketball.
Because I think his career was girls basketball.
Yes,
I think.
yeah.
Even before he came here, he was coaching girls basketball.
Yeah.
And
as was Mr. Sapp.
That's true too. Yeah, Mr. Sapp was at Perry.
Yeah.
He went to state with that girls team.
Yeah. So Jesup was lucky. I did an article on Faye Perkins, probably about a year ago on the podcast, And there on Facebook there is I played 6-on-6.
Yeah.
And I was looking at this post on I played 6-on-6, and I looked down and it was Faye Perkins that had made the post.
Oh, okay.
So I quickly messaged her, "Hi Faye, if you're listening," and I told her, what she did for our community, what she did for women in our community of Cresco. She was a big deal. She was big. She was a 3-sport letter winner at the at Iowa State University. Times are changing. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. The Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. Dale, would you ever have plastic surgery? Have you ever had it?
No, I've never had surgery of any kind. So,
Good for you.
I think plastic surgery, like if you have burn scars or things of that nature.
As he looks at my face, I'm hideous. Don't look at me, Dale.
To have your eyebrows raised or, firm up your
back.
chin or whatever, cut your ears back down. And I'm going to get in trouble. But I think women waste a tremendous amount of money They buy billions of dollars worth of makeup or wrinkle cream or this sort of thing. They wear those stupid high heel shoes and it just kills their feet. They get bunions, they go to the podiatrist, but they continue to wear them. And you know why those high heels were invented?
Oh, yes, lift the butt.
Lift the butt, yeah. When women walk there, it gives a provocative look, and that's the whole reason. And there's no reason why it just, there was an article the other day about hair dye and cancer.
That's why I lost all this hair.
I mean, really, dyeing your golden locks. And so I know I'll get in trouble for that, but I just think you look like you look. And if you're a little old lady and you're dyeing your hair a deep dark black, it's not a good look. If it, it's good for them. They feel better about it, and so God bless them. Keep on going. But I just think it's an industry that doesn't need to be.
Yeah, but in the same sense, you have people injured in fires. You have
Well, yeah,
people,
I understand that.
injured
Yeah, I understand. I think there's a perfectly good reason to do that kind of surgery.
War,
yeah,
etc.
well, sure.
Yeah,
and kids with birth defects, cleft palate, and this sort of thing.
Right,
I don't know if that's plastic surgery or not, but it must be somewhere in that neighborhood. And so, I'm not against the profession or the specialization. I just think that guys that become millionaire doctors because they do tummy tucks and breast surgery and this sort of thing, implants. I think that's such a waste. People even have butt surgery; they have implants in their butts and this sort of thing. I just think it's such a waste. But it's a free country if people want to do it. But I just think it's a waste of money and it's a waste of surgical talent in many ways. So
all right,
I'm in trouble, and I know I'm going to get killed.
you're gonna get let DALE. Dale, if you haven't streamed this, and I've got to talk about this, and our listeners, you've got to go to Netflix. It's a Netflix show. Netflix made it. It's called Dairy Girls. It's about London Dairy in Northern Ireland.
Okay.
And during the Troubles of the 1960s and 70s, maybe the funniest show on the market right now.
Okay.
It is about 5 young people and their families in Londonderry, Northern Ireland. They go to a Catholic school. These 5 young. It's an all-girls school.
Well, of course.
But the day of their senior year, the start of their senior year, the first episode, the cousin of one of them comes from England. He's an English boy.
Oh, it's a boy.
And he becomes the first boy to go to this all-girls school.
Okay.
So now we're set for the first episode. And so there's these 5 kids. So the boy spends a day looking for a boys' bathroom at an all-girls school. So that's one problem.
Yeah.
Another girl is fasting. She's into social movements. A third girl is trying to meet a boy who's a musician, and she's got to get out of school to go meet this boy.
Okay.
A fourth girl is just rather unique, and she likes to eat. And the fifth one is all about decorating herself, makeup and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Well, they get in trouble and get sent to detention the first day of school. So as the episode is ending, the boy's got to go to the bathroom so bad he's urinating in a garbage can. The nun in charge, which is 92 years old, takes the lipstick from one of them and puts it in her handbag to keep it for herself. The third one is sneaking out the window to go meet
The boy.
Yeah. The fourth one steals a sandwich from the nun to eat. And the fifth one tries to get a picture with the nun because she has fallen asleep. At least that's what they think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
While she's standing there holding this nun up, trying to get a picture, and they realize the nun has died.
Yeah.
And the other nun comes in, and she says, "So you've killed Sister George." She takes him to the office. Well, the first father in says, "So you're killing a nun today." It's a great episode. Please watch The Dairy Girls on Netflix.
Okay, I will try to get that.
It is wonderful. This is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. I want to do a shout out to Katie Kelley. I saw you had little victories on one of your Facebook posts today. Thank you for putting that out there. And Katie, you have a lot of wins. I love your arts and crafts. If you haven't seen what Katie is doing, she does remarkable things. Remember, if you'd like to donate to the Steve Brown Arts Center or have an idea for an event, go to the SteveBrownArtsCenter.org and follow the link. If you have news or would like to sponsor us, email us at jim@SteveBrownArtsCenter.org or call 319-290-0241 and leave a message. Or if you want to attack Dale, you can attack Dale on that number too.
Thank you very much.
I'm Jim Gillespie with producer Blake Tempest. Thanks again to Richard Moore Kelley and Alex Monaghan for being in tonight. Thanks to the audience for bringing these stray dogs into your life. Thanks to Kelly Seahas and Sean Westfall for having us in here at Cowork 591. It's a wonderful place.
It'd be bad outside.
It'd be terrible. Have a great week, and thank you.
Yep.
Remember, each day is about little victories.
I thought you were going to forget that.
There you go.